Scientology. This religious group was founded by L. Ron Hubbard in 1953 and became the official church of Scientology in 1954. According to J. Gordon Melton, Scientology's goal is to analyze humankind's mental aberrations and to offer means for overcoming them from a religious viewpoint. But despite their many claims of being a legitimate religion, this group has shown clear signs of cult activity, such as financial exploitation, secrecy, control over their members, and aggressive retaliation against critics and former members. Controversies about Scientology happened almost immediately after their startup, but it wasn't until 10 to 20 years later when journalists started investigating deeper. Heavier criticism came in the 1990s to early 2000s as former members started publicly sharing their experience with Scientology. Now, theories and controversies about Scientology can be easily found anywhere online, and especially on social media. A quick search on TikTok and thousands of videos related to Scientology's controversies can be found. Not only that, but mentions of Scientology has made its way into mainstream media. In the South Park episode, Trapped in the Closet, one character is interviewed by a member of the Church of Scientology. And in the popular game Grand Theft Auto 5, playable characters can enroll themselves into the Epsilon program, which was modeled after Scientology. These characters will have to play through various tasks to be deemed worthy for the program. Now that we understand the basics of Scientology, let's explore the popular debate. Cult or religion? Historically, cults were more socially accepted, but today the term carries negative implications due to their manipulative and isolating nature. Michelle Moline talks about the key differences. Religion received public and government recognition, while cults do not. Common cult behavior include pressuring new members, discouraging questions, worshipping a single leader, controlling members' lives and monitoring them. If we're going to analyze theory, we must also remember to use Daniel Pipes' tools. In this case, we can use historical context. Religions that are now widely accepted, such as Christianity, Islam, and even Buddhism, were once considered cults before they eventually grew followers and legitimacy in society. Since Scientology is still relatively new, it could be undergoing the same process of skepticism due to how new it is. This suggests that Scientology could be labeled as a religion undergoing early skepticism, and not a cult. However, we can also compare Scientology's characteristics to other well-known cults, such as Heaven Gate or the Church of the Lamb of the God, which are still labeled as cults due to their practices and activities. If we look at Scientology's official website, they present themselves as a religion focused on spiritual enlightenment and self-improvement through L. Ron Hubbard's teachings. It claims to offer solutions to life's problems via auditing and Dianetics. However, signs of cult-like behavior can be found easily when reading more information through their website. We see that Hubbard's teachings are treated as unquestionable truth, their information is limited, and almost mysterious, as deeper knowledge requires a more costly commitment from the members. This type of financial dependency also makes it more difficult for the members to leave, reinforcing control over them. This is what we can gather from the website alone, but next we will explore more into the experiences of the members firsthand. A quick Google search reveals the many articles and videos that feature ex-Scientology members sharing their personal experiences. One notable site is ex-ScientologyKids.com, which was created by those who grew up in Scientology and chose to leave later on in life. The website explores their personal experiences, Scientology practices, and disconnection, a policy that requires cutting ties with non-Scientologist members and friends. They also provide support and allow former members to share their stories and discuss topics with others. For the sake of this video, we will focus on this Times article, which exposes Scientology's manipulation tactics and cult-like behavior. One big takeaway from this article is the extreme financial exploitation. Noah Loddick was just a 24-year-old student who became drawn to Scientology and their self-help courses, but soon drained his savings in pursuit of personal growth. His family claimed he became increasingly paranoid and isolated before he eventually took his life. He spent $5,000 on these courses, with $3,000 unused, yet the church refused to refund his parents, claiming he intended the money as donation. But this is not the only case. Harriet Baker was drawn into Scientology after her husband passed away when they sold a $1,300 package that would cure her grief. This emotional manipulation led Harriet to spending over $15,000, and that was before they discovered her home was debt-free. They then encouraged her to take out a $45,000 mortgage for more auditing. After her children eventually intervened, she demanded a $27,000 refund for unused services, but she never got it. ultimately being forced to sell her home while struggling financially. Using Daniel Pipe's tools again to analyze this from both perspectives, we can identify several patterns of cult behavior that do not apply to Scientology. First, Scientology's long-standing existence sets it apart from other cults which are short-lived. Many cults emerge quickly and fall soon after, but Scientology has been around for over 70 years. Secondly, Scientology has achieved legal recognition, which is uncommon for most cults. They are legally recognized as a religion in many countries, especially in the US. Lastly, Scientology has a structured belief system and teachings that come from its founder, L. Ron Hubbard. This clear and consistent belief system set it apart from other cults, which can be more contradictory with its system. These characteristics could make Scientology align more closely with that of a religion, like they say they are, rather than a cult. After examining Scientology through the lens of cult-like behavior, its patterns of financial exploitation, emotional manipulation, and strict control all point to the modern definition of cult-like practices. Whether you think their belief system follows that of a religion, or you believe their practices align more closely with that of a cult, Scientology's history of power abuse and exploitation of its members should be enough to make anyone stay away from the exploitative organization that it is.